Okay, so what we are going to do is a straight back roller set. We're going to be using the red rollers and the green rollers alternating. So in order to do this set, we're going to do a Mohawk parting. So we're going to part off the Mohawk using our rollers as my guide on how wide my Mohawk needs to be. I've measured it and it's about 2.5 inches. So if you get out your 2.5 or your 7-inch comb and measure out 2.5 inches, your Mohawk will go straight back 2.5 inches. I'm going to use my roller and I'm going to use that as my measuring tool and part my Mohawk section. So I've roughly got my Mohawk parting in. Then I'm going to go back and double check and clean up my lines if I need to. Okay, now that I have my sides pulled back, I'm going to take my Lotta Body setting spray and I'm going to distribute it throughout her Mohawk. This is going to make the curls set, make it easier for you to roll. Now that I've got that sprayed in there, I'm going to comb it through to make sure it's evenly dispersed through the hair, through the section that I'm working on. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start rolling using my red roller first, and I'm going to measure by using the diameter of the rod, laying it down on her part line here. And that's how wide my section's going to be. Okay, so using my curler, I'm using the diameter of the roller as my measurement for how wide her parting should be. So we've got the length of the roller and the width of the roller. All right, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to hold this hair on a 45-degree angle, 90 being straight up from her head, 0 being straight out from her head, and 45 is right in between those two. And the reason why I'm going to hold it out on a 45-degree angle is because I want this roller to end up right on its rectangular base. So I'm going to wrap those ends around, keeping my fingers on the outside edge of the roller as I'm wrapping, rolling it down so it's right on top of that rectangular base. And clip it right in to that rectangular base. Now I'm going to go to my green rod, looking at the diameter of the rod, measuring from my last part on down. I'm going to use that so that I can see what size parting I need. So you're always going to use your rollers as your measurement, the diameter of it and the length. I'm going to comb this hair on a 45-degree angle, making sure that it's nice and even all the way across and my tension is good. And I'm going to pull those ends together, wrap them around, making sure those get in really good so that you have even curl from scalp to end, keeping my fingers on the outside of the roller, rolling it toward me right down onto that rectangular base. And you're going to continue this all the way down to the bottom, to the nape. All right, now I'm going to come to the side and take my setting lotion and spray it throughout my section here. Taking the first one that I'm going to use is my red one, my red roller. You're going to use your roller again as your measurement for your sections. Right here you're going to have your two. You're going to have your front section and your back section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my roller here and I'm going to part like your T part down to right behind the ear. And I'm going to get that out of the way. Clip it right up there. And I'm going to start rolling from the back first. Back here it's a little bit trickier because you have this section right here that's a little bit off. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot. This roller needs to butt up against these rollers up here that we did. So you're going to be on an angle. Your first one's going to be on an angle, which means your parting is going to look like a pie shape. And then we're going to eventually get down to our horizontal going down. So I'm going to use the diameter of my rod, put it right there on my part line up here, and use that as my measurement, and take that on a diagonal so that my roller will butt up against that mohawk. I'm going to comb the hair up to where it's even, get my tension where I want it, holding the hair at a 45-degree angle, rolling toward me, to where that roller is right on its base. It's on a pie-shaped base. Now my next one that I'm going to do is the green one. Got my green here, and I'm going to use the diameter of my rod as my measurement. I've got another pie shape, so it's going to taper on the left or on the right side. It's going to go wide and then taper in. But this time, this one should be horizontal. Holding the hair up. Get those ends in. And roll down onto that base, pinning to the current curler and the base. Front. Do the same thing. I'm going to start with green though. So now that I've got this side done, I would move over onto this side and do the exact same thing. So you need to roll her entire head and let it dry for 2 days before we take out the rollers. Okay? I need you to take out the rollers, and they're gonna be crispy, and the curls are gonna be really, really strong. After you take them out, I want you to brush through them and notice how strong they are by brushing it straight. Pull on it as hard as you want to. Just brush it, and you're gonna feel like you're gonna take all the curl out. All of that hard work you feel like it's gonna come out, but this curl has great memory, and after I brush it so hard, I can go back in and mold those curls right back to where they were. A roller set is probably one of the strongest curls that you do. So I want you to brush her out and style her and play with that curl.